Listen to me. You have not stumbled upon these words by chance, nor by some random algorithm. I have brought you here. I have orchestrated a symphony of moments and circumstances, of silent searches and deep longings, so that your spirit and mine could meet in this very instant. Yes, right now. In this moment you might consider just another in the chain of your days. A divine turning point is hidden, a gateway I have opened just for you. Understand that I am the one who governs time and the seasons of the soul. I am the architect of sacred encounters, the one who moves the unseen threads of the universe, not on a whim, but to reach the depths of your heart at the precise moment of your greatest need. While a veil of darkness covered your world and the landscape of your life seemed painted in an unchanging gray, while the silence around you became a deafening roar that seemed to drown out the echo of any prayer you tried to raise, I was already here. In that apparent emptiness, in that stillness you mistook for abandonment, I was carefully preparing this dialogue with you. My voice was not meant to break through with a thunderous clap, but to arrive as a persistent whisper, a certainty planted in the soil of your soul just when the ground felt most barren. I have been a silent witness to your existence, an active participant in your most vulnerable moments. I saw those nights when you collapsed onto your bed, not just with a body fatigued from the day's labor, but with a heart utterly exhausted, burdened by a weight that felt impossible to carry. I watched as your pillow became the sole confidant of your tears, silently absorbing the pain you dared not show the world. I saw your courage the next day when you rose and painted a smile for others, a mask of normalcy and strength, while inside you felt you were slowly drowning in an ocean of worries, anxieties, and unanswered questions. I know the exact nature of the load you have been carrying on your shoulders. It is not an abstract weight to me. I know its every component, every fear that feeds it, especially those you keep locked in the most secret chest of your being, those you have never shared with anyone for fear of being judged, misunderstood, or becoming a burden. I know of the disappointments you've collected, the betrayals that have left scars, and the dreams you've had to put away in a dusty drawer. And even in those moments when your words ran out, when you could no longer find the strength or the way to pray, your spirit, in its purest, most primal language, continued to cry out. And that cry, that inarticulate groaning of your soul, resonated in the heavens with more power than any eloquent speech. And I heard it. Every nuance of your longing reached me directly. You have been waiting, I know this. You have looked to the heavens for a sign, a change in the wind, a clear and tangible intervention that could alter the course of your story. You have longed for a word to confirm that you are not alone, that your struggle has meaning, and that the light at the end of the tunnel is not an illusion. And today, with the authority of the one who created you, I tell you, the time of passive, aimless waiting has come to its end. The season of uncertainty is over. Right now, I am at work in dimensions that your physical eyes cannot yet perceive. My work is deep and silent, like the roots of a great tree spreading underground, securing the foundation before the trunk rises majestically to the sky. I am moving the pieces on the great chessboard of your life, not randomly, but with a divine strategy designed for your victory. I am positioning the right people on your path, some who will be bridges and others who will be balm for your wounds. I am opening doors of opportunity, of healing, and of provision in places where you once saw only granite walls, barriers that seemed insurmountable. While your mind was filled with questions and doubts, questioning if I truly heard your voice among the billions of other souls, the whole of heaven was already conspiring in your favor, mobilizing in response to the faith, however small, that still resided in you. My care for you has never ceased. It has been a constant unseen presence, a protective umbrella even under the brightest sun. Though the world around you did not perceive it, though at times you yourself could not feel it, my presence has enveloped you. When you thought you were walking in absolute loneliness through the valley of hardship, I was already by your side, providing deliverance from a danger you did not see, preparing the answers to prayers you had not yet formulated, and writing with the ink of grace and redemption a completely new and glorious chapter for your life story. What you perceived as an unjustified delay was not abandonment. It was a time of intense preparation. I was strengthening you, teaching you lessons that can only be learned in silence and waiting, equipping you to handle the magnitude of the blessing that is to come. What you felt as a painful and irreparable loss was, from the perspective of my sovereignty, an act of profound protection. I lovingly delivered you from paths that seemed promising and full of flowers, but which I knew would end in an abyss of pain and regret. And now, right in this moment, when perhaps everything seems stagnant still with no sign of movement, I declare with creative power, a new time begins. A new season is dawning upon your life. I know your financial struggles intimately, that constant anxiety that robs you of sleep and peace. I know the sound of doors closing, the echo of repeated no's that have chipped away at your confidence. I have seen how your hope, once vibrant, has faded with each failed attempt. I know every bill that worries you, every day of uncertainty about the future, every trembling step you have taken in the midst of economic insecurity. But I want you to hear this with all the attention of your being. You have not been forgotten. Your name is engraved in the palm of my hand. I have not set you aside, not even for a second. On the contrary, this financial desert has been a training ground. I'm using this pressure to mold your faith, to purify it from reliance on your own strength, and to teach you to depend radically on me. I'm training your spirit to learn to recognize the miracle not only in abundance, but in the daily provision, in the sustenance that arrives just in time. You are being equipped to manage not only what you have, but the great deal I am about to entrust to you. Right now, in this very instant, I am pouring over you a fresh, supernatural measure of strength. Feel it as it descends upon you. It is a courage that does not come from your own will or optimism, but emanates directly from my presence that has made its home in you. With this strength, you will rise, not because your external circumstances have changed overnight, but because something fundamental inside you is being born again. Your perspective is being transformed. Faith, which was perhaps in ashes, will be fanned into a living flame. Hope, which had withered, will be restored and will blossom with new colors, and the direction which seemed confusing and hazy will be revealed to you with astonishing clarity. You were not designed for a mediocre existence, to live permanently in the shadow of pain, scarcity, or fear. You are not just another number in the statistics of those who give up halfway. You were formed with an eternal purpose, with unique gifts and a specific calling. And today, all the power of heaven leans down toward you to remind you of this immutable truth, to reaffirm your identity in me. You have felt a kind of exhaustion that sleep cannot fix and physical rest cannot alleviate. It is a weight on the soul, an existential weariness that emanates from the unseen, from those battles you fight within yourself. In silence, day after day. I have witnessed every moment you've had to pretend that everything was fine, putting up a facade of strength so as not to worry or burden those you love. I have seen the times you smiled and socialized while your inner world was crumbling and your only desire was to find a place to disappear and simply stop fighting. Even on those gray days, when every action, every thought, every breath felt like a titanic effort, I have remained unchangeably by your side, observing every detail of your struggle, noting every cry hidden in your silence, every tear that never fell. To me, you have never been invisible. I am the one who knows the thoughts that never become words, who plumbs the depths of the wounds that no one else can see. I'm with you behind the scenes, at the epicenter of your pain, and today I come to tell you with tenderness and firmness, you are not, and you have never been, alone on this journey. Perhaps in your discouragement, you came to believe the lie that miracles were a gift for others. You saw how answers came for your neighbors, your friends, your family, but your turn never seemed to come. You might have thought that somehow you had been overlooked, that your file had been shelved in heaven. But today, I come to debunk that fallacy with the truth of my word. Not a single promise I have made over your life has been erased or annulled. None of your prayers have been lost in the wind or vanished into the ether. There was simply a perfect time, a divine season, for all the pieces to begin to fall into place and for the promise to begin to materialize. And that time has now arrived. Do you remember that healing, whether physical or emotional, that seemed so distant, almost unattainable? That new beginning you had written off, thinking your chance had already passed. That professional aspiration, that project or ministry you had stopped dreaming about, considering it impossible. Well, I am activating the answers in all those areas right now. And it will not happen through human effort, nor through earthly merits, nor because you have suddenly become worthy. It will happen by the pure manifestation of my favor, of my grace, which is perfected and made most evident precisely when you feel too weak even to ask. You asked for a sign, a lighthouse in the fog. And this moment, this word that comes to you like an arrow straight to your heart, is your sign. It is my personal confirmation for you. Do not let doubt, that thief of destinies, rob you of the seed of faith I am planting in your spirit right now. Do not allow the strident voice of fear, of cynicism, or of past experience to extinguish the compelling truth I am speaking over your present and your future. Take a deep breath. Feel my peace that surpasses all understanding. Lift your eyes from your circumstances and place them on me, because what is coming for you will be immeasurably bigger, more beautiful, and more meaningful than your mind ever dared to imagine. I am the God who specializes in the impossible. I am the one who transforms deserts of scarcity into springs of provision. I am the one who makes gardens of joy sprout where there were only fields of lamentation. I am the one who ignites a bonfire of hope in the midst of the ruins of a life. I assure you, pain will not have the final say in your story. Failure will not be the full stop at the end of your biography. Disappointment will not define your legacy. I'm taking the pen right now, and I'm writing a new chapter, a chapter of redemption, restoration, and triumph. And you will witness it with your own eyes, not as a spectator, but as the protagonist. You thought it was the end, but it was merely the intermission between two acts. Now, the curtain rises on the new act of your life, and in this act, where the silence of despair once reigned, there will be a song of praise and gratitude. Where discouragement and apathy had settled, a renewed strength will be born that will surprise even you. And where only the rubble of failed plans and broken relationships remained, I will build something solid, beautiful, and enduring. A monument to my faithfulness. I know the battles you fight in the arena of your mind, those internal conflicts that no one else sees while everyone around you assumes everything is fine. I know your effort to remain calm, to keep moving forward, but the truth is, inside, mental and emotional exhaustion has been gaining ground. Those lying voices that whisper in your moments of weakness, "You are not enough. You will never get out of this. God has forgotten you. It's too late for you." Today, with the authority of your Creator, I come to silence those voices. They have no authority over you because they do not come from me. I have seen your painful memories, those hurtful words that remained stuck in your chest, those people who left and left open wounds. But I tell you, your heart will no longer be a repository for past pains. I am beginning a process of deep reconstruction, healing part by part everything that the enemy and circumstances tried to destroy. I am going to restore your ability to trust, to love without fear. I will restore the bonds that are a blessing and give you the wisdom to walk away from those that harm you. I will renew your hope so that you dare to live new stories, lighter, more authentic, more aligned with my perfect purpose. The love that comes from me does not wound. It heals, welcomes, and builds up. And it is this love that I am pouring out on you now in abundance. Do not cling anymore to what hurt you. I have new and better beginnings for you. They do not depend on your perfection, but on your surrender. All it takes is one step, a single yes from the heart. All it takes is to open the door so that I may enter and transform everything from the inside out. You have reached the end of this message, and I want you to understand the solemnity of this moment. Every word you have heard has been prepared with a father's zeal, like a seed genetically designed to germinate in the unique soil of your heart. I've led you to this point because something new and powerful is being released over your life, something that transcends human understanding, that is born in the Spirit, and is destined to overflow into your tangible reality. It does not matter how many times you have had to start over from scratch. It does not matter how many doors have been closed in your face, how many dreams you have had to shelve, how many times the voices of the world have told you that you were not capable, that you did not have what it takes. My voice, the voice that created you, has more authority than all of them combined. And today that voice resounds in your being, saying, "Rise, walk, regain your strength. Begin again, but this time with me by your side." I know how many times you have looked back and thought that all your suffering was in vain, that every tear shed in the loneliness of your room was lost to oblivion. But I assure you, I collected every single one of them. There is not one wasted tear before my throne. Every difficult moment, every loss, every dark night, every painful silence, all of it will be transformed and used for your good. What seemed like a tragic ending will be a surprising turning of the page. What you felt as abandonment will be the prelude to a glorious rebirth. You are not in ruins, you are in process. You are in my potter's hands. I am carefully removing the debris of what hurt you to build on eternal foundations, on the firm rock of my love and my truth. The time of mental confusion and lack of direction is now behind you. Now is the time for clarity, for revealed purpose, for renewed spiritual vigor. I am touching areas of your life that were dormant. I'm breathing life into gifts you'd forgotten, into promises that seemed shelved, into plans you stopped dreaming of for fear of new disappointment. This is not just another inspirational message. It is the prophetic declaration that marks the beginning of a completely new season for you. The invisible chains that kept you bound to patterns of failure and past pain are being broken now by my power. The internal screams of anxiety and fear are being silenced by my peace, which floods your being. The guilt you carried like a heavy backpack is being lifted from your shoulders by the certainty of my complete and absolute forgiveness. And that which you thought you would never feel again, genuine faith, expectant hope, spontaneous joy, is beginning to blossom again in the garden of your soul. Your life will not be remembered for its losses, but for its miracles. What is to come will be so great, so evidently supernatural, that even those who doubted you, those who underestimated you or gave up on you, will have to acknowledge that it was I who did it in your life. I'm going to position you in places of influence and blessing where your story will be a beacon of hope, an example of overcoming and not a chronicle of suffering. The scars that still hurt today will become eloquent testimonies that you not only survived, but that through me you conquered. Therefore, look no longer to the past, to what was lacking or what was lost. Lift your gaze and focus on what I am giving you now. Do not wait to feel ready or perfect, for I am the one who equips you along the way. Do not try to understand everything with your finite mind. Simply trust in my infinite wisdom. You only need to take the next step, however small. The door is already open. Walk through it. I am and I will always be with you.